What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today we have something pretty interesting. Today we are reviewing a storage device. This is pretty much our first review of a storage device, and today we have the KingDian P10 240GB portable SSD. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So yeah, this is a small little SSD that runs off a Type-C connection. Are the speeds that of a Type-C connection? Not really. Their advertised speed for reads are 320 and about 240 for writes. In my experience, the results are as you guys see in the screen right here. They're a bit higher on the reads and about 100 more megabytes higher on the writes. And with that type of speed and this form factor, we can probably assume that it has an mSATA SSD inside. So it's not an M.2, it's an mSATA, and that is what I think it is. And of course, we are going to be taking it apart and seeing what's inside, but first, let's talk about my experience with it so far. I have been using it for a couple months now, it's been a while actually, and so far I have encountered no issues whatsoever with this SSD. I've been using it for reading and writing, I have had a bunch of games installed on it, and I've been using it for testing, and I've also used it for some of my video projects. So I'd be transferring about 80 gigabytes worth of files, all my project files, and I would be editing right off of this SSD, and so far, I had no issues whatsoever, everything was nice and smooth, no crashes whatsoever, no disconnections. So is it reliable? I would say it's pretty reliable, but of course, they themselves don't even recommend it for a data backup. And of course, you never want to back up your files on an SSD, at least yet. But again, so far, I had no issues with this thing, everything played out very smoothly, and I actually enjoyed my time with it. It's very tiny, and it's very convenient. I have it in my technician bag all the time, and I really appreciate having it. Now, let's talk about something about the cable here. The cable here is kind of weird. Every time you plug it in, you get this little noise, so take a listen. So yeah, it's kind of weird. It makes a clicking noise when you plug it in. It is actually the cable itself and not the SSD, and the same thing goes with my phone. It's a little click that happens. Is it secure? It's pretty secure. It's not gonna fall off, but it could have been better. It is a bit loose, but that is, again, the problem of this cable itself. Any other Type-C cable that I have works perfectly fine with this thing. So with that said, let's go ahead and take it apart. Alright, so we should be able to actually take it apart from under here, but it's kind of hard. I'm going to try to use an X-Acto knife and see if I can take it out. And there we are. Alright, so we got two screws in there. And this comes out, and then that comes out, and here we are. So that's a pretty interesting looking SSD. I thought it was going to be a solid mSATA SSD built into it with an adapter, but it seems like it is not. So let's go ahead and take it apart even more and see what we have here. And there we are. So let's take a closer look. Alright, so here's what we are working with. Basically, this is running off an ASMedia chipset. And from what I can gather is that these NAND flash chips are actually TLC. Basically, high density, low cost, and if you want a closer look at this board, then I'll leave some high quality photos in the description below. And one cool thing that I noticed about this board that we can't really see when it's inside the enclosure is that there's actually a bunch of LEDs. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And before we go ahead and put it back together, here's what the board looks like when it's plugged in into a computer. All the LEDs are lit up, and it looks pretty cool. But of course, these will get distracting if they were visible, but nonetheless, these LEDs are pretty bright and they look pretty cool. There is actually one more thing to talk about here, and that would be that this thing is inside a shell. Basically, it is not directly touching the outside, so when you drop this thing, the aluminum housing will hit the ground, but the SSD will remain inside its plastic tray. So it should be pretty okay for the most part. It's not going to be perfect, of course. You can add more padding if you want, but at least it's got some protection. And that is actually pretty much it for this video. So should you get this KingDian portable SSD or any KingDian branded SSDs? Well, considering that I wouldn't recommend having any important files on an SSD, I'd probably only recommend the KingDian portable SSDs. Right now this is actually discontinued or sold out, I'm not too sure, but I'll leave a link in the description below. And considering that not many companies out there actually have portable SSDs in this form factor other than Samsung, this would probably make a fantastic Steam library or a portable Windows 10 boot device. So do I recommend this? Well, if you do see it out in the wild and it's on sale, I'd probably recommend it. And only for a portable Windows 10 boot device, as well as a tiny little fast Steam library. So that's it, guys. That is actually pretty much it for this video. So thank you all for watching. Hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.